Yo, what's up guys, it's Jack and welcome back to another video. And in this one, this is going to be part 2 of the little mini-series or whatnot that I have going on, talking about the Black Ops 4 beta and different categories per video. And talking about my thoughts, my experiences with the beta, especially since I played so much time on it. And in this one specifically, I am going to be talking about the maps, the modes, the weapons, and Pt.2. And without further ado, without wasting any more of your time, let's get straight into this, because there's a lot to cover in such a short amount of time. So let's start out with the maps. Now, with every single Call of Duty, there's new maps and there's new things to get used to, and especially if you're a person that moves around a lot, like me for instance, there's a new learning curve to every single map, regardless of how the map is built or whatnot, because there's a certain way to rush correctly and to run around correctly without getting shot from all over the place. So figuring those out is something that is always a learning curve with every single Call of Duty, with my experience, and this one is no different. This game definitely picks. It definitely takes from the 3-lane system that has been in previous Black Ops titles, so that's overall a very good thing. For the most part, the maps are pretty balanced and solid, and every playstyle is for the most part welcomed on all the maps. The only one that I really wasn't fond of was Payload, because all the engagements usually took place in the same area of the map. So, and it was that map specifically forced you to kind of post up a little bit more than usual, but hey, it is what it is. But that's just my experience and my opinion. But for the most part, when you put everything together, though, the maps really are, as of right now, are pretty good. And at the same time, it was one of the things that I was very, very critical with in the beginning. But after going through a little bit more, spending more time with the game and getting an understanding, it's like it just like every single other Call of Duty, it just takes some practice, some patience, and some time to learn. So the fact that there's no change there is definitely a good thing. And it's good that we're actually getting 4 remakes brought back: Slums, Firing Range, Summit, and Jungle. So I think those maps specifically are going to fit very well with this game, because of the fact that those maps played very well in previous Call of Duty games, and with this one, I picture them with the way the movement works in this game and the specialists and all that kind of stuff. I see them being very viable maps, and at the same time, those are maps that we absolutely love as a community. So it definitely fits in well with this game, in my opinion. Even though we haven't played them yet on this game, I think they would make a very good fit. So for the most part, I'd say the maps are pretty solid, and that's a good thing, because most of the time that you spend playing the game, what are you doing? You're on the maps. You're running around the maps. You're looking at the maps. You're learning on the maps. I mean, everything is map oriented. So the maps basically have to support the guns and the game modes and all that kind of stuff. So the fact that we have a pretty good base in that aspect is something that definitely shows potential for the game. So that's definitely a good thing. So let's get into the next part of this commentary, and that is the modes. Now, the game has introduced 2 new modes, Heist and Control. And I have to say, even though I personally don't play those games because they're round based with a limited amount of lives and all that kind of stuff, I have to say that the communities really seem to take in a lot in those game modes. Everybody really likes Control. Some people even say that you're not even playing Black Ops 4 to its fullest potential if you are not playing Control. So that's definitely a good thing, and the fact that they're very different from one another in a lot of aspects is something that is very welcoming, and it's like a fresh breath of air for the game as well as for Call of Duty in general. So that's definitely a good thing, and a lot of people seem to be liking it and taking to it. So whether or not those game modes are going to be in competitive is yet to be seen. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, it's those maps give the game those modes give the game even more potential, because the more good variety that's thrown into the game, the better. And I really mean, and I'm being very specific when I say good variety, because if the variety is wrong, kind of like the way people took to advanced movement, if a lot of people don't like advanced movement or a certain flavor of advanced movement, then for a lot of people it ruins the experience. So it's really a good thing that a lot of people have seemed to take in very well with the new game modes. And then there's Domination, there's Hardpoint, there's Team Deathmatch, there's Kill Confirmed. I'm pretty sure Free For All is going to make a comeback, and a couple of the other game modes that have been pretty much in almost every single Call of Duty are probably going to be making a return. But I will say that it would be nice for certain game modes to feel a little bit more rewarding by giving the player more points for playing the objective. For instance, like if you're going to capture tags and Kill Confirmed, it would be really nice to go back to the way it was in Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3, to where when you're playing, when you're getting a tag, it's 100 points. When you're denying one, it's 25 and then 50 per kill. In this game, it's 50 per tag confirmed and 50 per kill and 25 for deny. So all they need to do is change the 50 per confirmed to 100, and that's pretty much all they need to do to bring it back to where it was. And again, with the score streaks being a little bit more difficult to get this time around, it would make all the sense in the world. And especially since the game encourages teamwork and objective play, and then with the specialists, how the specialists are very rewarding, I think it would fill in that. It would provide a little bit more balance in terms of how we're able to get the score streaks without necessarily having to reduce them in price or in how much they cost or whatnot. So, other than this beta, I haven't played Hardpoint, and in Domination I haven't played in a long time. But capturing the neutral flag is fine at 50. But if you're going to cap a flag, I think you should get 150 every single time. Or if you kill somebody off a flag, you should get more. But I believe you do as it is right now. But if you cap a flag, with my experience, if I remember correctly, it was 50. I'm sorry, not 50. It was 100. So you should. So I think 150 will suffice, or maybe meet us in the middle at 125 to kind of provide a balance. I know a lot of people have been aching for 125 TDM since Black Ops 2, but I don't see that happening since it hasn't happened in previous Call of Duty games. I do think though that they may increase the kills from 75, the kill limit from 75 to 100 in Team Deathmatch. Some people are already talking about it. They did the same thing with Black Ops 3. It was originally 75, and then they changed it to 100. And then they kept on playing with it, and they finally gave in and said, okay, we'll keep it at 100. So we'll see. We'll see what they do with that, and we'll see what they do with the points. It's something they can easily fix. And again, more potential to be had here. And when it comes down to the overall thoughts of this game, when it comes down to Black Ops 4, the game does have a lot of potential. It just has to fill in the gaps very, very well in order to do so. Because there are a lot of mixed opinions on this game, but for the most part, from what I've seen, there's a lot of positivity. But the things that are negative, though, are big negative points, and they could be fixed pretty easily, actually. So let's hope they fix them. So let's go on to the next part of the commentary, and that is the Pt.2 create a class system and the weapons. They kind of go hand in hand. Now with the Pt.2, they brought it back in a whole even better so, because you've got more wild cards to choose from. It's you've got obviously your perks, you got your weapons, your attachments, you got your operator mods that can change a weapon from and making it feel completely different and completely powerful. But at the trade, it costs 3 points from your Pt.2, so there's that, because you have to get the wild card and put in the operator mod, which takes 2 points. So there's a balancing factor there, and it gives a little bit more variety to the weapon, which is great. But on the other hand, what they did was, in certain weapons, you can't use certain attachments. Like, for instance, you can't use quick draw on certain submachine guns, or you can't use stock on certain assault rifles and or quick draw or grip, or there are just certain attachments that you just simply can't use because they're not there as an option. And I think that's a step back in a sense, because people should use any gun however they want, especially with the way snipers work in this game, to where they draw so fast. They probably draw faster than any other weapon in the game. It really makes no sense in that aspect as well, to where why you're limiting attachments on certain other weapons. I know that they're trying to achieve a balance or whatnot, but I think it's I think the limiting what attachments you choose on weapons is something that really it doesn't need to be had in order to achieve balance in this game, because it didn't need to be had in previous Call of Duties, and it really doesn't need to be had in this Call of Duty, because there's so many different things to choose from. It really should be left up to the player on how they want to play and what decisions they want to make in terms of creating their class and how they want to set up their weapons, because they want their weapons to feel a certain way. It's like some weapons, like, wow, can you imagine if this weapon, I would use this weapon a lot more if I could use this attachment or that attachment. So in a sense, you can still have a balance without limiting the player. So I really don't see a need in order to limit the player. So again, that's something that they could change as well. I don't know if they will, but I think if they change that, I think it'll add even more variety to the game, and it's the kind of variety that we want. Because one of the things that a lot of Call of Duty players don't like, is being limited in any certain way, shape, or form. It's one of the things, the fact that we had more of a choice is one of the things that brought Call of Duty to where it is today. And back when it was more innovative than it is now, the fact that they gave you more different ways to create more of a choice, whether it was the way you created your class, customized your weapons, the game modes or whatnot, the choice in the way you would play is something that made Call of Duty what it is today. So taking a step back in that aspect just really doesn't make sense. So I hope that they change that, and that's what I hope they do. And operator mods are insane. Like for instance, there's just to give you one example, there's an operator mod for the Spitfire submachine gun that makes it fire way faster than even its default fire rate is, which is ridiculously fast as it is, but it makes it absolutely crazy. But or let's say there's a burst fire weapon, and you can make that fire full auto by holding down on the trigger, which is also a game changer. But both forms of the weapon, both versions of the weapon have something to offer. So, and again, it gives the player more variety, granted they want it, and granted they want to make that sacrifice for the 3 points in the Pick-10. So so in a lot of ways they've taken a step forward, but then they've taken a step back in a way that doesn't make sense. So I hope that's something that they change, and I hope it's something that we get to see with more you know, just give us all attachments for the Pick-10 for our weapons. And there's a lot of weapons that feel a lot like Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3, versions and variations of them that have been brought back, so that's definitely a good thing. And yeah, they're trying to achieve the balance in that aspect. So so yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about in this one, because all these aspects are really important, and they all kind of fit together like a puzzle. So these changes are specifically in this video that I mentioned, covering these 4 things. The changes that they can make are relatively minor, but they can impact the game in such a really good way that could change the tide of the game from being okay to being much better. So, and just think of the changes that they did with World War II. If they implemented those kind of changes, like that kind of care and love and those kind of changes into this game, then I think the game would be even better. So it's something that they can change with patches or updating the game or whatnot. So it's not really something ridiculous. It's not like we're asking them to change the way the maps are built. So, but anyway, guys, that's all I got for this one. So let all comments and opinions and experiences be known down in the comment section. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, let me know. And if you didn't, let me know what I can do to make my videos better. I'll catch you guys on the next one.